Let's start with some heartthrobs, relationships. So when you're overattached in relationships, let's say you're getting in one, what does that do? Well, you really need someone to work out because, there's no good guys out there. There's no good women out there. Oh my God, I think I found one. And so you show up on the first date and you're so obsessed with getting the relationship that you mess things up. You come off as too much. You love bomb them. And in your head, you might be like, well, if I show this person that I really, really love them, then yeah, they'll feel seen and they'll want to be in a relationship with me. But if you know anything about coming off too strong at the start, that actually pushes people away because it can come across as needy, or that you lack love for yourself and you're trying to get something from them. To be honest with you, this one really hits close to home. I almost messed up my current relationship because of this very thing. When I first started dating my girlfriend, I was the one who came across as like, holy cow, she's a smoke show. She's checking all the boxes. I like her vibe. I could see a future with this woman. And I came off very strong. We laugh about it now, but to the point of where like a month in, she sat me down. She's like, hey man, you gotta reel this back in a bit. And looking back now, I'm glad she did because that allowed us to kind of chill out a bit more and the relationship develop instead of me just like rushing into, yeah, come on, move in. How's next week? I almost messed it up because I was over attached to an outcome.
If you keep living the way that you live, if you keep procrastinating becoming the man that you should be, that's not gonna be your wife. Some other dude's gonna outwork you, and that's gonna be her husband. Those beautiful images of your kids playing with your future kids, the beautiful family life that you built, that's all gone. Because you were so caught up on your breakup, you were so caught up on your past, you had no regard for your future and just how bright your future will be, and just how bright your family's future will be. So that is why I know it sounds strange, but I want you to, in your sleep, before you go to bed, throughout the day, I want you to visualize. I want you to even talk in your mind to your future wife, to your future kids, to your perfect family. And then I need you to understand that the only way you're gonna get that, by putting your head down and becoming a man who ticks all the boxes. And it's a slow, painful journey. And I can tell you right now that no dudes are gonna invite you on their private jet just because you're you. Be yourself. No matter what anyone says, life is very difficult. Put one foot forward in front of the other for years, if not decades, and at a certain point you look back with appreciation that you built a kingdom. But right now, you have work to do. So gentlemen, I was very difficult on you, but that's because I know how traumatizing and rough a breakup can be, but I also know that it's the best catalyst on earth for you to catapult into a new dimension, into a new echelon of excellence as a man. So on that note, as always, I'm watching you and I'm rooting for you from afar.
Ask yourself, what am I feeling? Catch yourself feeling some of this stuff. Maybe it's shame or fear. What are people gonna think of me? If I go on that Zoom and totally botch it, right? Oh, I'm afraid of that, or I'm afraid to go up to that person, or I'm afraid to text back my boss, or all the fear scripts running your life. Choose your example. Maybe it's grief. In grief, I was reading that a lot of abandonment or nostalgia feelings are there. Like the best times are behind me. If only I'd said that differently, or heartbrokenness, right? A lot of relationship pain is actually the form of grief. So that's the first step. What am I trying to let go of? Now, the second step is you're going to sit, okay? You're just gonna chill out give yourself 10 minutes here. You don't even have to say 10 minutes, just 1 minute, right? So you're more willing to do this instead of 10, like, oh, I don't wanna do this for 10 minutes. Just see what comes up, identify it, okay? Boom, there it is. What I do when this comes up, right? Or I've accumulated a lot of stuff throughout the day. This is typically when I do it, like midday or something. I had a really stressful day at work. Well, if I don't let go of this stuff, I'm gonna take it home. I'm gonna take it out on the people around me. I'm gonna ruin the next 12 hours of my day. I'm just gonna kind of stay stuck in there, replaying things in my head.
Well, you have such a good ability to learn from those things. Some people, I think, kind of it's just like it gets repetitive for some people.
That's dangerous. Yeah, it's dangerous to dwell on past mistakes, because people sort of define themselves by the worst moments that they've ever had. And if that's the case, like some people are stuck in high school. They're stuck in failures that they had like when they were first getting jobs, and they always think that they're a loser, and they don't like the feeling of failure, so they keep low expectations so that they never have to feel that. You gotta get through it. You gotta get through bad feelings. You gotta get through failure. It's very important. And you get through it by just picking yourself back up and moving forward and going. But it's hard for a lot of people because that sting, they never get over it, the feeling of failure. And they don't have a good support system, like good friends. Like having a good community of friends is very, very important, because you could feel like down, like if you've been, a girl broke up with you and you feel like you're the worst, you're a fucking loser, like you're a piece of shit. But then you go out with your friends and you have a few laughs, and next thing you know, you're laughing and you're like, I'm alright, we'll be alright. And then maybe you meet a new lady. Yeah. And she like picks you up and you're like, huh, you're gonna be okay. And then you learn from the last mistakes.
Yeah.
That's life. It just, those feelings of failure are so hard. They're so hard to get over, and they overwhelm people, and some people can't get past them.
When all your happiness is conditional on a certain outcome of one day, and then I will be happy, that is a massive trap. And you're robbing yourself from the best moments because you're so focused on a conditional form of happiness. You're so attached to an end result that you can't even enjoy the whole thing as you're getting there. One of the best teachers of detachment was the Buddha. And Zen Buddhism drills this into their philosophy. It's been said that happiness is the brief moment in between your changing desires. Because once you get something, watch how fast your mind moves on to the next target, to the next thing. And it's this little trap that your mind plays on you that says, yeah, that was good, but man, when I get that next one, or that next thing, or the next thing, then I'll be truly happy. In the case of this work, because it's relevant to the stories we've shared, 100,000 subscribers is good, but 250, 500, a million. And it's this never-ending game. Suffering actually comes through attachments, and that your attachments are what create suffering, because if you get it, you're on to the next one, and it's never as good as you think it's going to be. And if you don't get it, then you're suffering because you need something to complete you and feel happy. But happiness, when you remove all the desires and attachments, is your natural state. And it's less about adding things in and more about removing things from you and getting back to your natural state, your baseline.
The men that you look up to, their first breakup ruined them. And I can tell you that from firsthand experience, it was so painful. But isn't there something beautiful in that? Isn't there something beautiful in the fact that as men, we all go through it? We all have this shared experience. The thing is, it's really hard to go through something when you think it's the end, when you think that it's the end of a chapter. You know, oh, my life's over, that ended, blah, blah. No, you need to start looking at it as the beginning of your new life as a real man. You need to go through the hero's journey, and you need to understand that in every good movie, there are ups and there are downs, there's turbulence, that's what makes it fun. And when you start viewing life as a movie, you start to have a lot more reverence for the difficult times that life puts you through. So I just want to congratulate you, and I want to welcome you to the club.